The Ark-class vessel Horizon drifted silently through the Kuiper Belt, its advanced sensors probing the outer reaches of our solar system. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the distant stars. Humanity's first deep space research vessel represented decades of technological advancement and international cooperation. Yet nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to discover. The first signs came as subtle gravitational anomalies. Then, electromagnetic disturbances that defied known physics. Before the crew could process the implications, space itself seemed to tear open as massive vessels emerged from what appeared to be artificially generated wormholes. The Volfrani had arrived. They were beautiful and terrifying, crystalline ships that seemed to be grown rather than built, each one larger than Earth's largest cities. Their first transmission was simple: your species shows promise. Submit to uplifting and integration. The United Earth Council's response was diplomatic but firm. Humanity would chart its own course among the stars. The Volfrani's second message never came through conventional channels. Instead, it manifested as simultaneous attacks on every major population center on Earth. Their technology was centuries beyond humanity's greatest achievements. Defensive systems that Earth's military had considered unbeatable were bypassed as though they were children's toys. Orbital platforms were disabled with surgical precision. The Volfrani's message was clear: resistance was futile. But they had fundamentally misunderstood human nature. As cities burned and millions fled underground, humanity didn't break. In the depths of research facilities, in hardened bunkers, and in hidden laboratories, humans did what they had always done in the face of overwhelming odds. They adapted. Dr. Chen and the Horizon's crew watched helplessly as their world was systematically dismantled. But even as tears streamed down their faces, their minds were working, analyzing, looking for patterns in the Volfrani's seemingly perfect assault. The crystalline ships had to obey some laws of physics, even if they weren't the ones humanity currently understood. The Horizon's mission changed in that moment. From a vessel of peaceful exploration, it became humanity's silent witness and most important reconnaissance asset. While the Volfrani focused on Earth, the Horizon's crew began their meticulous work. Every energy signature, every gravitational fluctuation, every quantum variance was recorded and analyzed. The Volfrani established their dominion over Earth with casual efficiency. They didn't seek to eliminate humanity, merely to subjugate it. Scattered resistance was met with precise, devastating responses that left infrastructure intact but spirits crushed. Their technological superiority was so complete that they didn't even bother to maintain a significant military presence. A handful of crystalline ships in orbit was sufficient to maintain control. But the Volfrani's greatest mistake was assuming that human submission equated to acceptance. In laboratories hidden beneath the rubble of defeated cities, in underwater facilities that had escaped detection, and in the countless improvised workshops that humans seemed to create instinctively, a different story was unfolding. Dr. Chen's team made the first breakthrough 3 months after the invasion. The crystalline ships weren't simply using advanced technology. They were manipulating the quantum fabric of space-time itself. It seemed impossible, but the data was irrefutable. The Volfrani had mastered what humans had only theorized about: direct manipulation of quantum fields on a macroscopic scale. This discovery was transmitted back to Earth through a network of quantum-entangled particles that the Horizon had distributed before the invasion. It wasn't faster than light communication, but it was undetectable by any known means. The Resistance now had its first real lead. The Volfrani continued their benevolent occupation, introducing small pieces of their technology to reward compliant human populations. They didn't realize they were providing humanity with the pieces of their own eventual defeat. Each seemingly insignificant technological gift was scrutinized, reverse-engineered, and added to humanity's growing understanding of quantum manipulation. As the first year of occupation drew to a close, the Horizon remained humanity's silent sentinel in the outer solar system. Its crew had become humanity's most vital intelligence asset, documenting every aspect of Volfreni operations. More importantly, they had begun to see patterns in what had initially appeared to be technological magic. The Volfrani's quantum manipulation had rules, limitations, and most importantly, vulnerabilities. Their crystalline ships were not invulnerable. They were complex quantum structures that could theoretically be disrupted by precisely targeted quantum field manipulations. The challenge was generating those manipulations with humanity's limited technology. But humans had something the Volfreni had never expected: desperate creativity born from the ashes of defeat. As Dr. Chen transmitted the last of her team's findings back to Earth, she allowed herself a small smile. The Volfreni thought they were uplifting a primitive species. They didn't realize they were actually providing the tools for their own downfall. The first phase of humanity's resistance was coming to an end. The next would begin not with a bang, but with quantum whispers that would shake the very foundations of space-time itself. Deep beneath the ruins of the former CERN facility, Dr. Marcus Wong studied the holographic display showing the latest quantum field manipulation test. While the Volfreni patrolled overhead, believing they monitored a simple physics research project, humanity's greatest minds were piecing together something unprecedented. Project Phoenix had started as a desperate gamble. The quantum physics insights from the Horizon's observations, combined with carefully reverse-engineered Volfreni technology, had given Earth's scientists a theoretical framework. But theory and practice were separated by an engineering challenge that seemed insurmountable with Earth's remaining resources. That's when Colonel Maria Ramirez proposed what seemed like madness, using the Volfreni's own quantum network against them. The crystalline ships maintained constant quantum entanglement with each other, creating a vast web of quantum connections that spanned the solar system. This network was how they coordinated their seemingly instantaneous responses to any resistance. But quantum entanglement was a two-way street. Each connection the Volfreni created was a potential vulnerability. The challenge was accessing these connections without detection. Dr. Wong's team had spent months developing what they called quantum shadow technology, devices that could tap into the Volfreni network while appearing as nothing more than quantum background noise. The first breakthrough came from an unlikely source. A teenager in Mumbai had noticed that Volfreni communications created subtle distortions in normal electronics, distortions that followed patterns. When this information reached Project Phoenix, it became the key to cracking the Volfreni's quantum encryption. The project accelerated rapidly after that. Hidden facilities around the world began manufacturing quantum shadow devices using scavenged Volfreni technology and modified human electronics. Each device was a marvel of human ingenuity, hybrid technology that shouldn't have worked but somehow did. Colonel Ramirez coordinated the global resistance from a mobile command center deep in the Amazon rainforest. The Volfreni's orbital superiority meant nothing in the dense canopy, and their arrogance meant they rarely bothered with ground surveillance. Humanity used this oversight to build a vast underground network. The quantum shadow network grew slowly but steadily. Each new node had to be carefully calibrated to avoid detection. The Volfreni's quantum sensors were incredibly sensitive, but they were calibrated to detect significant quantum manipulations, not the tiny distortions humanity was creating. Dr. Wong's team made another crucial discovery. The Volfreni's crystalline ships weren't just vessels, they were massive quantum computers. Their computational power was staggering, but it also meant they were vulnerable to quantum interference. If humanity could generate the right kind of quantum field disruption, they could potentially disable entire ships. The challenge was generating a strong enough quantum field without detection. Traditional power sources would be instantly spotted, but again, human creativity provided an answer. Dr. Wong proposed using Earth's magnetic field itself as a power source, combined with thousands of synchronized quantum shadow devices. The plan was audacious. They would need to coordinate quantum manipulations on a global scale with precise timing. A millisecond's deviation would alert the Volfreni. The computational requirements were enormous, But humanity had a secret advantage. While the Volfreni relied on their quantum technology for everything, humans had maintained and improved their traditional computing systems. Project Phoenix's central computer system was a hybrid of quantum and traditional architecture, giving it capabilities the Volfreni hadn't anticipated. It could coordinate the quantum shadow network while remaining invisible to Volfreni detection systems. As the project entered its final phase, humanity held its breath. They would only get one chance. If the Volfreni detected their preparations, Earth would face consequences far worse than the initial invasion. But the alternative was eternal subjugation. The day of reckoning approached. Quantum shadow devices had been positioned at key points around the globe. The hybrid computer system had been tested and retested. The Horizon, still maintaining its silent vigil in the Kuiper Belt, was ready to provide crucial data about Volfreni's ship movements. Dr. Wong looked at the final simulation results and nodded to Colonel Ramirez. Project Phoenix was ready. In less than 24 hours, humanity would either regain its freedom or face annihilation. As the countdown began, resistance cells worldwide prepared for what would either be humanity's finest hour or its last stand. The quantum shadow network hummed silently, its invisible tendrils intertwined with the Volfreni's own quantum web. Humanity's greatest gambit was about to begin, and the Volfreni still had no idea what was coming. Operation Quantum Gambit began at dawn. As the first rays of sunlight touched Earth's surface, the quantum shadow network activated. Millions of tiny disruptions rippled through the Volfreni's quantum web, imperceptible individually, but building toward a devastating crescendo. The Volfreni's first indication that something was wrong came when their quantum communications began experiencing microsecond delays. In their overconfidence, they dismissed these as normal fluctuations. By the time they realized their mistake, it was too late. Dr. Wong's hybrid computer system executed its code flawlessly. The quantum shadow devices synchronized, using Earth's magnetic field to amplify their effect. The resulting quantum disruption cascaded through the Volfreni network like a tidal wave. The crystalline ships in orbit began to resonate at frequencies their quantum structure couldn't handle. The smallest vessels shattered first, breaking apart into clouds of crystalline dust. The larger ships held together, but lost control of their quantum field generators, rendering them effectively powerless. Colonel Ramirez's resistance cells launched the ground phase of the operation. Teams equipped with portable quantum disruptors emerged from hiding places worldwide. These devices, reverse-engineered from Volfreni technology, targeted the quantum fields that powered their ground installations. The Volfreni responded with desperate ferocity. Emergency protocols activated, attempting to isolate sections of their quantum network. But humanity had anticipated this. The quantum shadow network adapted faster than the Volfreni could respond, exploiting each attempted defense to create new vulnerabilities. From the Horizon, Dr. Chen's team provided crucial real-time data about Volfreni's ship movements. This information allowed the Resistance to predict and counter every attempted counterattack. The Volfreni's superior technology had become their greatest weakness. They had no backup systems, no redundancies that didn't rely on quantum fields. But victory wasn't assured. The largest Volfreni vessels, including their command ship, proved more resilient than expected. Their quantum fields were too powerful to be completely disrupted by the first wave of attacks. As they began to adapt to the quantum shadow network, they launched a devastating counterattack. Orbital strikes targeted key resistance positions. The Amazon Command Center barely evacuated in time. Similar attacks worldwide forced humanity's forces into defensive positions. The Volfreni were wounded, but far from defeated. The battle reached its critical moment 12 hours after it began. The quantum shadow network was degrading faster than expected, strained by the massive energy requirements. The Volfreni command ship had begun generating a new type of quantum field, one that threatened to neutralize humanity's advantage. Dr. Wong made a desperate decision. The hybrid computer system could be reconfigured to generate a quantum pulse of unprecedented magnitude. The power requirements would burn out most of Earth's electrical infrastructure, but it might be enough to finish what they'd started. Colonel Ramirez gave the order. Resistance cells worldwide connected their power systems to the quantum shadow network. The Horizon transmitted its entire store of power through its quantum entanglement link. For a brief moment, humanity's combined technological might focused on a single purpose. The resulting quantum pulse was visible from space, a rippling wave of distorted spacetime that engulfed the planet. Every piece of Volfrani technology within range ceased to function. The crystalline ships, including the command vessel, underwent catastrophic quantum field collapse. As the pulse faded, Earth was dark. The power grid was destroyed, communications were down, and much of humanity's own technology was fried. But they had won. The Volfrani occupation force was neutralized. In the aftermath, humanity began to rebuild. The victory had come at a tremendous cost, but it had also given Earth something invaluable: proven quantum field technology. The Volfrani's arrogance in sharing their technology, thinking humans too primitive to truly understand it, had seeded their own defeat. But even as recovery efforts began, Dr. Chen's team on the Horizon detected new quantum signatures at the edge of the solar system. The Volfrani defeat would not go unnoticed by the galaxy at large. Humanity had won its first interstellar war, but greater challenges lay ahead. News of Earth's victory spread through the galactic quantum networks like wildfire. The Volfrani, long considered undefeatable, had been humbled by a primitive species. The implications sent shockwaves through the established galactic order. The Horizon's sensors detected the first refugees 3 months after the victory. Small ships, bearing species previously unknown to humanity, arrived seeking asylum. They brought stories of other civilizations under Volfrani control, worlds where resistance had been crushed centuries ago. The Sylvani were the first to formally request Earth's help, a species of beings that resembled bioluminescent humanoids. They had been under Volfrani control for over 1,000 years. Their delegation met with Earth's newly formed Defense Council in the underground chambers of Geneva. Dr. Wong and Colonel Ramirez presented Earth's quantum shadow technology to the assembled alien representatives. The Sylvani were stunned. In all their centuries of subjugation, they had never conceived of using the Volfrani's quantum network against them. More delegations followed. The Nexus, a collective of machine intelligences that had been reprogrammed to serve the Volfrani. The Krith, silicon-based beings whose natural quantum sensitivity had made them particularly valuable slaves. Each brought unique insights into Volfrani weaknesses and technology. Earth became the center of an interstellar resistance movement. The remnants of the quantum shadow network were expanded and modified using the combined knowledge of a dozen species. Humanity's hybrid computer systems were merged with Nexus processing cores, creating an intelligence network capable of coordinating resistance efforts across multiple star systems. The Sylvani provided crucial biological technology that could interface directly with quantum fields. The Krith's natural abilities helped refine quantum detection systems. Each species contributed something unique to the growing revolution. But the Volfrani weren't idle. Their defeat at Earth had triggered a massive military mobilization. Quantum signatures indicated they were gathering the largest fleet in their history. The next attack would not be a simple occupation force, it would be an extermination fleet. Earth had 6 months to prepare. The Defense Council coordinated the greatest engineering project in human history. Every surviving piece of Volfrani technology was studied and improved upon. The hybrid computer network was expanded to cover the entire solar system. The resistance fleet took shape in orbit around Mars, hidden from casual detection by advanced quantum cloaking technology. Ships of human, Sylvani, and Nexus design formed an armada unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Each vessel incorporated technology from multiple species, creating capabilities the Wolfrani had never encountered. Dr. Chen, now commanding the greatly upgraded Horizon, coordinated the fleet's quantum defense systems. The ship had become a testbed for revolutionary technologies born from the collaboration between species. Its quantum sensors could detect Wolfrani fleet movements across light years of space. Colonel Ramirez established a new military doctrine combining human tactical creativity with alien technological expertise. The resistance forces trained relentlessly, preparing for a confrontation that would determine the fate of multiple civilizations. As the deadline approached, the resistance detected something unexpected. Other slave species, inspired by Earth's example, had begun their own uprisings. The Wolfrani were suddenly fighting brushfires across their empire, their resources stretched thin trying to maintain control. The resistance fleet made final preparations. The combined knowledge and technology of 8 species had created defensive and offensive capabilities that would have seemed like magic a year earlier. But their greatest weapon remained the same, the unshakable determination to be free. The Wolfrani extermination fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system with overwhelming force. 5,000 crystalline ships, each larger than any vessel humanity had ever built. Their quantum signatures lit up the horizon's sensors like a supernova. But Earth was ready. Dr. Chen initiated the resistance fleet's quantum cloak, making 300 ships disappear from conventional detection. Colonel Ramirez deployed the fleet in a formation that looked chaotic to Wolfrani tactical systems, but followed precise calculations by the hybrid computer network. The Wolfrani struck first, launching a quantum cascade designed to shatter any defensive fields. Instead of trying to block it, the resistance fleet let it pass through their quantum shadows, appearing to be destroyed while remaining intact. The deception worked. The Wolfrani fleet split up to secure what they thought was an easy victory. That's when the resistance revealed their true capability. Quantum shadow devices, now enhanced by Silvani biotech and Chris sensitivity, created disruption patterns that the Wolfrani had never encountered. Their formations broke apart as ships lost quantum coherence. The Nexus battle computers predicted and countered Wolfrani tactical responses before they could be implemented. Dr. Wang's improved quantum pulse technology, now powered by multiple species energy systems, disabled entire squadrons at once. But the Wolfrani command ship was something else entirely. A massive crystalline structure that seemed to bend space around itself, it shrugged off quantum attacks that had destroyed its escorts. As it approached Earth, it began generating a quantum field so powerful it threatened to tear apart the fabric of space-time. Dr. Chen recognized the threat. The Wolfrani would rather destroy the solar system than lose control of it. The resistance fleet converged on the command ship, every vessel channeling power into a single, coordinated quantum attack. The resulting collision of quantum fields created a temporal distortion visible across light years. For a moment, causality itself seemed to flutter. When reality stabilized, the Wolfrani command ship had been reduced to its component atoms scattered across space. The remaining Wolfrani vessels, their quantum networks in chaos, retreated in disarray. But the resistance fleet didn't pursue. Instead, they transmitted a message on all quantum frequencies. The age of empire is over. The future belongs to all species. In the following months, delegation after delegation arrived at Earth. Species that had been enemies under Wolfrani rule now sought peaceful cooperation. The hybrid computer network became the foundation for a new form of interstellar governance, one based on mutual benefit rather than domination. Earth, once considered a primitive backwater, became a symbol of hope. Human creativity, combined with the knowledge of other species, spawned innovations that transformed galactic civilization. The quantum shadow technology evolved into a communication network that united formerly isolated species. Dr. Chen, Dr. Wang, and Colonel Ramirez found themselves leading a new organization dedicated to sharing technology and preventing any species from achieving the kind of dominance the Wolfrani had held. The horizon became a training vessel where members of different species learned from each other. The revolution had succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Humanity had not only freed itself, but had helped reshape the galaxy. Their victory proved that true strength lay not in technological superiority, but in the willingness to adapt, cooperate, and never give up hope. As the first generation of humans born after the revolution looked up at the stars, they saw not a threat, but endless possibility. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity had helped chart the course to a better future for all species. The end.